Welcome to another video, and in this one we've got a 100 plus kill game with the M1907 SF Assault Rifle on Underground Conquest. As always, stick around in this video while I outline the pros and cons of this weapon, how I'm using it, how I've set it up specifically in this game, and of course how to play on Underground to get those 100 plus kill games. If you do want to see the specializations I've got on this gun or any other gun which I use in Battlefield 5, there is a playlist on the playlist section of my channel which you can find where I cover specializations for each different class in Battlefield 5 and my preferred options for each weapon. So getting straight into the weapon, I will say straight off the bat, it's a gun with an extremely high time to kill and is able to compete with a lot of other SMGs and guns of the like in the medic class. However, it is pretty much a useless gun, and I will explain why now. Looking firstly at the negatives of the weapon, you can see it has a 21 round magazine, which is not enough to compete with other high time to kill guns in the assault class or in the medic class, of which most medic weapons have 30 plus rounds, and the highest time to kill ones like the Sumi, the Tommy gun, the Type 2A having 50 round magazines, and then guns like the Sturmgewehr in the assault class, of course, having a standard 30 round magazine with a pretty close fire rate, much better accuracy, and therefore a similar time to kill. Not only that, the M1907 SF has an extremely high recoil pattern, meaning you have a low accuracy percentage, which negatively therefore affects your true time to kill. And the adverse impact of therefore having a low magazine size with a low accuracy percentage as a result of that high amount of recoil means your maximum kill potential per magazine, the majority of the time, is going to be one enemy. Therefore, if you encounter any groups of enemy larger than obviously one enemy, there's a really good chance you're going to die and not be able to take on multiple enemies. And as well, you're reloading every few seconds because you have to reload after every one kill, because you're usually left with 5 to 7 bullets in a gun, which with the accuracy percentage of this gun is not enough most of the time to get a kill. And so you're going to die a lot when using this gun while reloading, or because you run out of ammo when encountering multiple enemies. Everything is therefore off balance because you've got a high TTK gun which wants to be an SMG, but it's an assault gun in the assault class. Therefore you haven't got medic pouches to be able to keep healing up all the time while running and gunning, but you've also got to reload all the time while running and gunning. Running and gunning as well, making you encounter large groups of enemies more often than you would when using other classes and playing more passive. And so to use this gun, you need to be playing both passive and aggressive. And so it's a very unique and hard style to pull off to use this gun and to make it work. And any other gun, whether it's an SMG if you want to play more aggressive, or if you want to use the Sturmgewehr and have an aggressive option but also a better passive option, there literally is no reason to use this gun. However, it is another gun and another option to use something and to have some fun in Battlefield 5, and so that is why I'm using the gun in this video. You can see from the first 15 minutes of this game now, as the clock has ticked down from 45 minutes to 33 minutes, I am now starting to get a hang and get a better control of the recoil pattern. In the first few clips you could see how much I was missing my shots, so I am getting a bit more accurate now, sometimes being able to take on 2 enemies. And I am going with the really weird sight rather than using a reflex sight or the iron sight. If you are going to use this gun, and the only reason I'm using this sight is because I was bored and wanted to try something for a challenge, the best sights for this gun is going to be either the reflex sight or the glitched iron sight, which you can find. So when you're clicking on the sights and you search for the sights, there's one there, I'm pretty sure it's either Tripoli or it's one which hasn't got a name, and it removes the rear guard at the back sight closest to your eye, and therefore gives a very clear vision of that front post, which is very nice to use and to look at. Now, getting into how to play on Underground to get the 100 plus kill game, you'll know I always talk about power positions and where you want to stay on the map for the majority of the time to see and find the most amount of enemies possible. This on Underground is always going to be B flag, the center of the map, all enemies pushing to and from this flag, and specifically staying underneath B flag because there's 4 staircases going up onto B flag as well as the trains which people can climb on and climb into the windows. There's too many different places you have to look at and to defend from if you're up on top of B flag. Whereas under B flag, yes, you've got loads of different areas to get there. However, the majority of enemies, I would say 80% plus of enemies, are going to be running up and onto B flag, not underneath it. If you stay underneath B flag, any enemies coming off of B flag are not going to run backwards and go underneath B flag. They'll be running off in either direction, either towards A flag or towards C flag. So therefore you'll have less gunfights and be able to shoot enemies in the back, getting easy kills. And getting into this game in particular, you'll see in the next clip on B flag, I'm going to throw a grenade at the doorway. When I do want to push onto B, there's normally always someone watching the stairs. Using the grenade, which has got a high timer on it, if an enemy sees that grenade, because they'll see the icon, they're not going to push the staircase. And that gives me time, therefore, to push up the staircase. And because it's the anti-tank grenade, I've got time to be able to run up to the grenade and throw it away. So using that grenade and throwing it at the doorway has given me an opportunity to push the doorway because there's a less likely chance that an enemy is going to push the top of the stairs and stop me coming onto the flag. Now that we have B flag and C flag and we're pushing the enemy spawn of A, I'm going to take the right side of the map, which is obviously going to be all close quarters because I have a gun which has got a high recoil and therefore needs to be used in close quarters. Most people won't push through this doorway here because of the machine gun, which is aiming all the way down the hallway. If you push out quick, there's plenty of cover on the sides and the boxes. Enemies don't expect you to push through that doorway, and so you get a really good chance to push forward through here that most people do not use. If you've got a bazooka like I've got, you can easily lean around these boxes and take out the machine gun at the end, like I've just done for the second time there in this video. Unfortunately, I won't be able to push any further past this point, but once you get to this point here, you can easily lean around the corner and pick off kill after kill after kill, because enemies aren't looking here, they're expecting you to be at the doorway at the end of the hallway. Now, taking a moment to say about my subscriber analysis videos, which I did many months ago, I'm thinking about bringing that back and doing some more. It has been requested by a few people in the last few weeks. So if you have watched this far and you do want to send a gameplay in, then leave a comment below. I'll give you the details of where to send it to, and I will make and create a subscriber gameplay video analysing your gameplay to give you feedback, as well as everyone else who watches the videos feedback as well. And I'll therefore tell you how to improve, what you're doing well, and what you can do in future. Now getting into the final clip of the video, you're going to see that I'm pushing again the right side, sticking to the strengths of the weapon, and therefore going to the close quarters area of the map, and I'm therefore going to push towards A flag as much as I possibly can using the close quarters side. The enemies are in the room directly in front of me, behind the wall, through that doorway there. I'm going to push to try and get a flank, as you will see, but I'm not going to push all the way through around on the back of the enemies, because in this game they were a smart group of enemies where as soon as I would start firing they would all turn around. With a 20 round magazine and low accuracy, it was not therefore a good option. So I'm going to use and stay in this room here. I'm going to stop the flow of enemies coming from this spawn from A flag like that, and I'm going to be able to shoot through the doorway to the enemies that are camped in there. By not pushing that, the enemies are going to be able to continue spawning on each other, which will mean I can keep getting a chain reaction of kills, and I'm therefore not going to get swarmed, and I can see every single enemy coming through the doorway towards me. So yeah, that wraps up this video. Another underground 100+ kill game with the M1907 SF. Smash the like for me, and I will see you guys on the next video.